Welcome to the Daily Edge, and as always, I'm Mark Noodleberg, but we get to have Steve Noodleberg in the seat with us this time. We are going to dive into the state of sales and just talk all things business, because we're in a family business and it's so much fun. Let's find our edge. Let's find our edge. That starts with our affirmation. I am a student of the game, and my edge is my commitment to continuous studying and practice of my craft. I will not be out-educated or out-prepared. Steve, Dad, welcome to the show.
And I won't be outworked.
I wrote outworked, and then I was like, he's probably going to say it anyway.
It's on cue.
Okay, so one question for you to start the show.
Okay.
The state of sales. When I say the state of sales, what is the one word that comes to your mind?
Sucks.
Is that sad?
It's
for
embarrassing.
you?
It's embarrassing. It's hard for me to imagine the way technology, the way education, the way we have grown as a society, and the sales world is still left behind. Just ask somebody. If you mention the word sales to somebody, what is the image that they get? You know, historically,
yeah. Right? Historically, when you said sales to people, they typically go to the used car salesman. I'm gonna try to get over on you, or I'm gonna, wheel and deal you, and I don't have your best interest at heart.
And that's still happening today. If you look at Instagram and all of the social media, there are guys who have huge followings who are there screaming at people. 4 sentences and you'll make $1 million.
So I'll give you some real time data that backs up the fact that you say state of sales sucks. 60, and this is from Salesforce, which is like one of the largest sales agencies in the world. Ton of data. 67% of sales reps don't expect to hit quota this year. 84.
Just stop.
Right.
Like, shouldn't there be alarm bells going? Something's wrong.
Just barely over half are going to hit their goal.
Hello.
80, well, even maybe bigger. 84% missed it last year. So you're talking about over 2/3 or over 3/4 of the population missed it last year.
Mark, just imagine you do something consecutive years in a row and you suck at it.
Right.
Find something new.
It gets worse.
Like
70% of their 70% of their time they're spending 70% of their time on non-selling tasks, admin, prep, and leaving little to no time for real conversations. Now I'm going to give you some excuses that people have given.
Okay.
57% say competition got tougher. Buyers are 86% more likely to purchase when you understand their goals, and 59% of reps say they have no idea what their buyers' goals are.
It's just unbelievable.
So it's a dark place. It's a dark place.
So let me break that down. So, first of all, it's great to be back on the show.
It's great to be having
a while. Really, it's fantastic. When you talk about reps spending time on non-revenue producing stuff, shout out to Tony Nugent. Wrote about it in my book. He has, that whole methodology about where you're spending your time. And he said I could go to any rep anywhere in the world. He had 1,000 calendars, 1,000 offices, look at their calendar and say winner or loser. And it was just based on their calendar because 60-30-10. He has a rule, 60-30-10. 60% of your time, if you are in biz dev, needs to be facing in front of opportunity. It's pretty simple, right? 30% admin, 30% research, 30% getting better, right? Which, like, how am I learning about my clients' challenges, getting better, and 10% admin. And he said, absolutely, the reverse was true for those that weren't making it. They only spend 10% of their time.
And well, so
I'm like, it's like, still true. Thank you, Tony.
And you and I know this, so I'm gonna say something that's probably a little crazy, but you could be spending 60% of your time on revenue producing opportunities and still fail because you're showing up trying to sell people something.
Yeah, I think.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, so you. First of all, I love the chances that we get to work together when we go out, because I love hearing you say stuff, and you repeatedly say this, and there's never been anything more true. The number one obstacle that we all have to get over, all of us, I don't care who you are, is the fear that whoever we're talking to thinks we're trying to sell them something.
Right?
And for those people that are failing, for those 67 that are failing, they are showing up to sell them something.
Like you were talking about all of the Instagram influencers, right? Like that have like these large followings and that are like, say this to sell more, right? And like they'll talk about objections, and the objections are talking about is like, oh, I need to talk to my wife about it, or like all of these other things. The objection you're not going to get told, that is the very first one, is you're trying to sell me something. And as soon as you confirm that for them, you're roasted. Now, like real time.
And they validate it in the first sentence.
Right. I'm here to talk to you about your life insurance. So real example. We just did a 6-figure deal, right? That took me
multiple 6 figures.
Multiple 6 figures that took me 4 calls, I think, total to close. And oh, by the way, we never met in person. Not one time.
Yeah, that isn't an indication of the state of what's possible. But you would still think to people, oh, no, I can't do it. I gotta, there's always the excuse part of things. That's always been a part of sales. Oh, it's the end of the year. Oh, it's a recession. Oh, the president is changing. Oh, I didn't clean my underwear. Whatever it is, it's never been easier to meet people at scale.
Right.
That's a fact.
Which is that has to be the number one revenue producing opportunity, right?
Fact.
Is meeting new people.
Meeting new people. We have created a process. I had a process early in my career. We've modernized it. We've made it easy to meet people at scale anywhere in the world, anytime. Yet people still don't invest the time and the energy to just do the work. There's always some other agenda. There's always something. So, the part of the equation that you talk about where you say to people, I got to overcome this obstacle that I want to sell them something. Look, let's be candid. I get paid to sell stuff.
To create a transaction.
So that's okay. I understand that. But if it's the first thing I do, I'm going to get shut down. Why? Because that makes people not like you, not trust you.
Right.
And that, so if you're willing to go along with the, hey, maybe we just meet and we become friends first.
Yeah.
Could you make 5 friends every day in this new world? Could you make 5 friends in your life? Whatever your waking hours are, could you make 5 friends? If you do that, you are making 1,200 friends a year. I mean, how many of them need to do something with you? It's like, and then, so it's all process based.
Well, we work with a lot of salespeople.
Yes,
and I will tell you, like when I first got into sales, it felt unnatural to have conversations and not sell because it felt like, well, that's what I was here to do. And that's what my leadership is telling me to do.
Oh, you
and like, that's what the expectation is that I do that. So like, it was like, trust the process that tells you almost not to do the thing that in the back of your mind you have to do, which I think we don't give enough credit to that's being harder than it actually is.
So I think, there was just recently we saw a Nick Saban video, which I love him and I love what he represents. And he said, it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. So you said you could have 60% of revenue producing, but if you're picking up the phone and trying to sell something to people, that's hard.
Right.
That's a miserable life, man.
Yeah.
You are pushing people to just get away from me.
Right.
Go.
You're pushing people away.
Yeah.
You're leaning into
I'm
friction.
welcoming
all the
people
time.
in. What can I do? How can I help you? Well, I understand business. I've earned the right to do that over the years of experience. It's got to be something you could ask me that I can answer,
right?
That you don't have to pay for,
right?
If you don't think that in your life, it's like,
So that's a really good, and I think like when we talk about the challenges, okay, so we agree the state of sales sucks. Salespeople are being taught poorly. They're struggling.
I got to jump in.
Yeah.
Sales leadership is really where the problem
letting
is.
people down.
So it's like, you can't talk that it's modernized and it's great and whatever, and then go back to what the fuck did you do today?
Yeah.
What did you sell today, man? And it's that pressure. You felt it early in your career when you did not work with me. That's the expectation is I'll talk to you about all of this stuff. Training sucks. Onboarding sucks. I'm out there, and if I don't hit like your number that you created for me in a short period of time, I'm bad.
Right.
What? When conversely, and I don't really know where I got this early in my career, but I said if I managed behavior, if we got good at what we did early, people would either buy from us or know somebody who could.
Right.
And that's what we did. And it became, I can't use your service, but you should talk to my dad, my brother, my father, but
right.
like somewhere, my neighbor, or my
right.
boss, so someone was always referring us. That was intoxicating to me because every conversation was fun.
Right.
No pressure.
Right.
And they felt it. Like, okay, I to this day, some of the people, that stick out in my mind, Scott Smith, who we have an unbelievable relationship with. He goes, so when are you going to pitch me? Like, when do I, Rick Whalen from Aflac, when are you, when does the pitch part come? And I go, dude, you're not going to get it from me.
Right.
Why? Because the minute I do that, I look like every other schmuck.
Right.
I don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
If we build a relationship and you have a problem and I built enough trust for you to ask me like, hey, Steve, what would you do if you were me?
Yeah. I got you.
Boom. Right. I did it. I did what I was supposed to do. I built enough value up front and people just are not patient. They're just not patient.
So and I think they're not patient, right? Nobody's patient enough, but they lack trust. They lack trust that it would actually work. And I think so it's hard. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? But look, whenever you try something new, right? Like riding a bike or your golf swing, swinging a golf club is not like a natural thing to do. There's very few people, I think, that just pick it up and swing it and they're like, oh, this feels so natural to me. Anytime you're trying something new, you gotta trust the training part of it and that oh, this is different. Oh, I'm just gonna keep doing it in order to get that validation. Because I think for me, the first time that it happened that somebody was like, oh yeah, well, what do you do? Oh, I would like you to do that for me. I was like, holy shit, this is different. Yeah. Right? Oh, it worked. It works if you just trust that process. So how do you get leadership to trust that?
So you need to change leadership. I've always, in a lot of the consulting deals I've done, I've gone in and people have asked me to assess what's happening in their culture.
Right.
And one of my recommendations is the top guy you got to fire.
Right.
And they're like, what are you, out of your mind? That's the top producer. And I go, top producer sabotaging everybody else in the organization. They have to go, oh, wow. Leaders, right, that are sabotaging. Show me a leader that is building their people, right? Servant leadership, show me that. I'll show you a very healthy organization. I'll show you a leader who is more concerned about his own paycheck, about his own growth, about his own. And there's a zillion of those. And, if I'm calling you out, these are hard conversations. But here's a simple fact. I started using video 8 years ago. Yeah. It had first come out. I saw it. Yeah. I investigated, Bomb, Loom. Yeah. We landed on Vidyard. And then I taught you early on. And what is it?
It's 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
5 years. To this day, I still send out video, emails packed with video. And people go, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, at what point is the rest of the world going to catch up that you're free? Right? It's a tool that you can use to break down the barrier of, hi, this is me. If you don't like bald guys, I'm cool with that. Yeah. I just want to know early in the process. So you have a chance to look at me, hear me, and engage with me long before you have to. So what's hard about that? Now the first time I did video did I just show up like a movie star?
Right.
No, man. We've looked at some of the early stuff. We've looked at some of our early huddles and stuff. It's embarrassing how bad it was. But whatever you do,
grow through it.
You said whatever you do to start with, you suck at it until you decide to get better at it. Now that doesn't mean you're going to be world class. That doesn't mean you have the skill set to be incredible. You still need to have those intangibles. Still need to be smart. But one of the things that Tony Robbins said 100 years ago was, you get rewarded in public for what you do in private.
Yep.
Nobody sees the work that we do.
Right.
And the teams that I'm involved in, the people I'm involved with, I show them how to do the work.
Yeah.
In a manageable time, calendar,
So
mindset.
I wanted to hit this. I wanted to ask this question specifically. Because you said, early on, I don't know how I got there, but I just knew that if I could manage behaviors, right, then
it was key. So it was key in the growth.
Which in the 80s, the behaviors that you managed then are different than the behaviors you manage now, aside from conversations, right? We can agree that over the arc of time in business, the number one metric for success is conversations. So if you're not having conversations, you have major problems. But that's not all of the behaviors you're managing. No. So in today's world, if there were three behaviors that there's somebody who's graduating college today and they go, I want to be the most elite salesperson in the world. I want this to be my profession for the rest of my life and I want to be the best at it. What are the three behaviors you would tell them at 22 years old to start managing daily that would lead them to that success?
Great question. Number one is mindset. Right. 90% of it happens here before it happens anywhere else. Walt Disney saw Disney World 10 years before they put a shovel in the ground. Yep. Most people they shoot themselves in the foot before they leave the house. They have shitty thinking, oh my God, and this is bad, and my boss is up my ass, and this is happening. They bring all of that to the party, and you cannot win.
Right.
So I think, I spent a lot of time, continued to spend a lot of time developing the right mindset, starting the day with affirmations, all that kind of stuff. And
mental conditioning, which could be also physical conditioning because working out is good for your brain and it feeds it.
That is a huge thing.
Mental conditioning. There's
Second
one
thing, and I wouldn't put it second, it's equal to, is managing your calendar. Most people are either thinking about what they should have done and what they need to do. They're not what I say. You need to be where your feet are. You need to be, I know exactly what I'm doing every day. I'm still old school. I print the calendar. It's color coded. It's pretty simple. I know the playbook every day. The night before, so I know how to show up and do the work.
You plan every minute of every day. If you like a 22-year-old that's probably never even looked at their calendar before. Yeah. Like when you think about the track of a 22-year-old in this world, they went from high school to where they were told when to go, what to do. Maybe they had a job that was also that they got told when they would work and what they would do at work, and then they went to college and they had their class schedule and maybe terrible, they managed right. So let's say they have terrible time management skills. Like they should start planning every second of their day, or they have none. Right.
I still think it is really important.
Every second of every day.
I think you should manage every second of every day.
Okay.
I think when you wake up, when you go to bed, what you do in between. Yeah. Now as I've gotten older, it's what you eat, and Yep. But people think of diets. Diet is what you consume. Yeah. The people, all of that matters.
Mental conditioning, full plan for every day.
Right.
What's the third one?
Social. You have to understand that the world lives online and you have a brand and you need to be able to share it. Yeah. Because otherwise you're going to get left behind. I mean, we are working with CEOs who understand the power of their brand. We're working with individuals who understand the power of their brand. We have a couple of young rookies who are part of the organization who understand ahead of time. That's what success looks like. I can market myself. Jesus, the dollars I spent years ago advertising all of, the ABC Cellular advertising. And people still remember, oh, you're the phone guy. That impact I could do for myself now, and I'm the product. And if you understand that which when we bring on young salespeople, we said, you matter. Right. What you do doesn't matter as much as who you are. who you are. It means, where'd you go to school? What do you hang out? What are you passionate about? You can build a business, a case study on all of that. And especially if you went to school, like what I taught you to do wasn't bullshit. It wasn't some hokey crap.
No.
I said, you spent all of this time at Florida State. Florida State is important to you. It's important to a lot of people, right?
Start talking about Florida State.
Right?
Share your stories about Florida State. Figure out, find who else Florida State matters to, and have conversations with those people.
So it's funny because I just recently did some homework on alumni marketing in general. And the dollars that are generated by alumni marketing are so significant, yet people forget about it. They go to school and they forget about it. So it's, all of the things that matter to you, if you find other people, and that's why it's a tribe, man.
Right.
So teaching people the skill sets to do that, I think makes selling a backseat. Yeah. We're not selling. I hate the word. Right. The world sales sucks because it's pushing and coercing and
manipulating
guys on stage going 101 ways to close a deal.
Yeah.
How many ways do we have to close? None. Right. Zero. You know what? We do lots of business because we're solving a problem and people want to engage with us to do that. So it's just a different world. It's different language. Some do, some get it. The CEO that just stroked a big deal with us to end 2025. He gets it. His language to me already is he understands the world changed and he's willing to do something about it. We're not selling people on the change.
Right.
I don't want to get in an argument. I remember 8-10 years ago, getting into conversations with CEOs, they were arguing. I go, I'm not here to convince you.
I'm not here to convince you. Which is like the antithesis of most salespeople. Right. It's like, you have to convince people of the problem. No. Why would I waste time convincing you of anything when there's plenty of people who already know there is one?
Like, if you don't see it, fine, that's great. But the ones who do, early adopters, are the ones who are reaping the benefit. Because I can tell you this, without any hesitation, it has never been easier to drive new business.
So we are using artificial intelligence to help us.
Yes, we are.
Question for you. Will AI ever replace sales?
AI...
Will it replace sales?
No. And I have one reason why. And I'm not the most educated on it. I love having you and Jake around to educate me on it. The emotional side of selling. Right. How to create bond. It could try to do that. It can try and replicate voice, but it doesn't. It's making me better at what I do, significantly better. It has advanced my learning to a degree of, Google was
it's a great
good.
Tool.
Google was good. AI is like, hey, could you unpack this for me and blah, 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 and why? So I'm learning at a rate that I couldn't do before, but my ability to communicate, and I think in the world, the one thing that will stay constant is your ability to communicate will dictate your success.
Ooh, that is the way to end the show right there.
That's how you find your edge.
I love that. Awesome. Great to be back in the chairs with you. Great conversation.
I love it, man.
I love it. Write in the comments. Make sure you like, share. Let us know how you find the edge. And let us know in the comments what you think about sales, what you're struggling with, whether you're in the profession, whether you're dealing with the profession, and what your thoughts are on it. And to take us out, Dad, look directly in that camera and say, let's find our edge.
Let's find our edge.
Let's go.